You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the May 5th meeting of the Long Beach Police Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by looking at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, we are going to get started. Today's date is May 5th, 2022. It's 4 p.m. This is the Long Beach Police Commission meeting for the month of May. Present is Commissioner Bob McFadden, Commissioner John Wall, and then myself, Police Chief Mark Swistek. Today, absent is Commissioner John Coker. Under old business, I just had that the April Police Commission meeting was canceled, just for everyone's information, so in case anybody was looking for previous minutes or that. The next item we have is the new patrol unit. We have secured a 2022 Ford F-150 police responder unit from Bloomington Ford through the state QPA agreement. At this time, the unit is not been designated with a production time nor a ship time. It's unknown due to the continual chip shortage with automobiles across the United States. We are very hopeful to receive that vehicle this fall or the early part of 2023. Currently, we are seeking a quote for the lighting, emergency electronics, and siren package for that unit. In fact, just prior to this meeting, I was emailing Waymeyer Distributors out of Indianapolis, and their lead times are 4 to 6 months out on any electronics that are ordered as well. So I'm hopeful to put a package together to get a lot of that coming as well, because that would be a holdup if we were to get the vehicle sooner than later. Any questions on the vehicle? All right, next we have the Walmart Community Fund grant. We applied for that back in January. We submitted a grant request for the National Walmart Community Foundation seeking $5,000, which is their maximum limit for a community engagement, community policing projects. This past week, on Monday, we received a check for $1,500 in the mail, and those funds will be used for community outreach, community engagement. I have since presented the check to the clerk town treasurer, and he has deposited it, and we'll be tracking expenditures through the clerk's office. Any questions on the Walmart grant? All right, moving on to new business. Memorial Day weekend is fast approaching. We're preparing for the start of summer. Thus far, we have our ATV units. They are out currently at Flanagan Tires, having the preventative maintenance and oil changes done on those. We have all of our other equipment getting ready for the fast approaching summer. So we're looking forward to a very productive summer here in the town.
Hey, while you're thinking about ATVs, are you giving any thought to beach patrols at all this year, not the beach day?
Yes, I am. I've actually thought about trying to put a schedule together either between our reserve deputies or asking some of our part-time deputies to come in for like maybe on a 4-hour period to come in and work from like say either noon to 4 or 11 to 3 type of thing at the peak hours when we know that the beach is being used the most to get some presence down there. I think it's a great idea now that we have much more beach. So, and our boat patrol. The boat will be out again this year, not every weekend, on designated weekends. And then we've also been asked to participate with Venetian Night in Michigan City on the Michigan City Canal, just outside the Port Authority. I'm actually thinking about assisting with that, putting our boat in there, because I think it's a good publicity for us, good marketing, and our boat's marked and everything, plus for a safety aspect as well, in case something was to happen there that we could assist the Coast Guard. So we may be participating in that. I believe that's in August this year.
So they're going to have a run this year on Memorial Day?
Yes, and that date, great question, Bob, that date has been set for Saturday, October 29th in Washington Park, coming down to Stop 20 this year. All funds generated for the Vote for the Heart race will be given again to AEDs for police cars throughout LaPorte County. I believe Trail Creek, Kingsford Heights, Westville, maybe Purdue University or the remaining police departments that they have to get AEDs to, because we have them in all of our vehicles. So Next up, we have our 2006 Ford Police Expedition. At last month's town council meeting, the council approved the sale of that unit. It is currently here being stripped of all of its electronics. The graphics are off the vehicle. We are now accepting sealed bids on that unit through June 13th, which is our next town council meeting, at which time the town council will open the bids, and we will then sell that vehicle through public auction. So looking forward to getting that off of our inventory and then utilizing, hopefully, one of the things I want to talk to the clerk about is we sold last year another unit. We'll have 2 police cars this year that we'll be selling. In addition to the 2006 Ford Expedition, the unit that Deputy Babcock currently is operating is a 2014. We want to sell that this fall also. And I'm hoping to use the funds from the sale of both of those vehicles to offset the cost of the electronics that will be ordered to somewhat pay for that. So that, how many miles is that unit, I believe, is over 80-some thousand, coming up maybe to 90,000 miles. So, and it has some mechanical issues with its emissions. Recently, we had a quote for about $2,500 to repair the emissions on it, and I postponed that knowing that we'll be selling the vehicle later this year. So the car is probably not worth much more than what they want for those repairs.
So low mileage doesn't mean it's just low speed.
Yeah, a lot of idling time as well. So it's definitely got some wear and tear on it. And typically, in the police field, 8 years is about the replacement for that, and that vehicle is right at its 8-year plan. So last year, when we did the same thing, one of the vehicles that we looked at trading, it blew a transmission right before we were getting ready to sell it. We still were able to sell it, but we lost the transmission, so the timing was good with that.
More wear and tear on the mechanical rather than the body.
Yeah, the interior usually holds up, it's just the mechanical parts. Next is our part-time police clerk. As a result of the unfortunate passing of Steve Sass, who was our police clerk on Saturday mornings here in the town hall at the police department from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., the council had given us the go-ahead to start soliciting applications for that job. I interviewed a gentleman this morning along with Renee Richardson. He is interested in the position. He is also the only applicant that we received for the position, which isn't a bad thing. He is also a prior employee of the town, previously served as a part-time dispatcher. So at today's HR committee meeting, I was given the go-ahead from the HR committee, and Dr. LeMay also had given us the blessings to go ahead with the hiring, since we need to get a person in place with the Memorial Day weekend fast approaching. So the goal is to have this individual start a week from this Saturday. So, any questions on that?
So right now, we're saying that Renee essentially during the days, and then this gotta be weekends only.
He will be Saturdays only, 8 hours a week, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. every Saturday. And then also available to fill in if Renee was to take a couple days vacation. Typically, then we would have that individual come in, answer the phones, handle the front lobby, golf cart registrations, parking passes, things of that nature. The funding is in the budget. We have it in our operating budget, and the hourly rate is set by the salary ordinance at $13.50 an hour. So that is all good to go there. Next is the tactical medical training, the use of tourniquets. Last week, Deputy Tobin Babcock had completed training all of our staff, to include our reserve deputies, in tactical trauma medical training, with a primary focus on self-aid and tourniquet use. And what we mean by that is if an officer was incapacitated, if they were shot in the field in a bad car accident prior to the arrival of additional medical assistance, that we would be able to apply tourniquets to ourselves, or if an officer was pinned down in a shootout type situation, aid was unable to get to the officer, we now carry tourniquets on our person. The unique thing about the class, because I was involved in the class as well last week, is that at the beginning of the class, Deputy Babcock issued out our tourniquets and said during the class, I want you to keep your tourniquets times. And then just at random times during the 4-hour training, he would yell out left arm. And you would have 20 seconds to then apply a tourniquet to your left arm, half hour later, he would yell right leg, and then you'd have 20 seconds to apply to right leg. So I thought that was kind of cool, kind of unique, because under pressure, it kind of, stressed you to get that tourniquet, deploy, apply, and the other deputies found to do so as well.
You have it on me now? Based on how long?
I don't know, it's on my Mystic Vest, which is out on the card currently, but it's just probably 6 inches, 1 inch in thickness, and it's just a fabric material with a twist to tighten it down with a locking device on it, so very useful. And also a huge thank you to the Long Beach Civic. They paid for all the tourniquets, training aids, and everything required. It was about a $3,700 donation from Long Beach Civic. So I want to thank the Long Beach Civic for assisting with that. So that was huge. And then those medical kits, in addition to the tourniquets, are placed in every one of our vehicles, in every one of our ATVs, on our boat, and then we have one in the town hall as well. That Renee, who's a prior nurse, if something was to happen in the town hall, Renee could go to the kit and Renee could give emergency aid here. Oh, they are. Well, actually, Deputy Yagelski used one last week where a resident had cut their wrist accidentally while doing some home projects and nicked probably an artery at the time. He applied a tourniquet prior to the arrival of Long Beach Fire, and then Long Beach Fire used some blood clotting gauze to assist until the EMS arrived. So, and then he's also, Deputy Babcock's going to be training the fire department in the tourniquet use as well. So at the end of May. So overall, it was a very good class, and I'm very happy that Deputy Babcock was trained in that.
The same kind of license starting to put on shoes now.
Oh, they are? I didn't hear that.
My grandson's got that. I've got some license shoes. Pop down and you twist it.
Oh, yeah, I've actually seen them on boots now, and there's cables too. Yes, I have seen those. Yeah, they're pretty unique. I'm curious to see how long they hold up.
So our 4-year-old grandson uses it for a while.
Yeah, well, he'll never know how to tie his shoes, so probably. Next week, I just want to let everybody know that the street striping is going to occur on Monday. That is scheduled for Oriole Drive and Chesterton Drive coming into the town. So I spoke with Street Superintendent Tom Dolph today. The street sweeper was out today cleaning those areas, so we are ready for Monday. And we look forward to getting those 2 major roadways striped to include the community center. The community center parking lot will get a fresh striping, and the back parking lot here as well will get striped just in the summer months. And then eventually, it's not yet scheduled, but the town hall parking lot will get crack sealed, coated, and then striped here as well. So we have all that scheduled, and we're looking forward to kind of doing those projects here soon. All right, any questions on street striping? All right, police memorial ceremony next week, Friday, the 13th of May at 10 a.m. The LaPorte County Joint Police Memorial Ceremony will return. It was on a hiatus because of COVID for 2 years. So we'll be back in person at the former Elston High School in the Stan Hocraft Performing Arts Center. It's open to the public, begins at 10 a.m. There's a light luncheon to follow after that. I will be reading the names of the 3 Long Beach police officers that lost their lives tragically here while in the line of duty. That is Ephraim Reed, when his end of watch was back on September 15th, 1933. Earl Platt, back on October 25th, 1956. And then all of us remember James R. Couts, who was our chief marshal at the time, back on December 4th, 1997, when he was tragically injured while assisting the Michigan City Police Department on a traffic accident and succumbed to his injuries sometime thereafter. So we'll remember all these deputies next week to include all the other LaPorte County police officers that lost their lives in the line of duty. And aside from that, do we have any public comment? Becky, is there anything you'd like to ask today?
Negative. Thanks for asking.
All right, thank you for joining us today. Any police commissioner comments? Commissioner Wall?
No.
Oh, good. Commissioner McFadden? Wonderful. All right, with that, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
Are we going to really talk about this?
Well, great question. So I was almost thinking about we could do quarterly probably too. Because really like coming up in June and July, we're gonna start getting busy and if there's something that out of the ordinary was called special meeting. But otherwise, I was thinking we could do quarterly meetings, if you guys were good with that. And then if that, we can always look at semi-annual, but I think we go quarterly. So maybe let's set the next one then, so first three would be in June. You want to shoot the next one in September? And since we're doing one now, that'd be wonderful. Okay. Make a motion to have our next meeting be our quarterly meeting, which will be the third quarter of September. So we'll meet in the first Thursday of the month in September, and that'll be at 4 p.m. And then I'll reach out to Meg and get that changed on the website as well for the public's knowledge. And that we have our calendar updated as well. So, all right, so what's that? The 8th,
I'm sorry, the first is the first Thursday.
September.
So Labor Day is the 5th, that first is 2 days before Labor Day weekend. Maybe one of the 8th,
Just for that.
We can do it first.
No, I mean, so the 8th is after, but
Yeah. Saying that first Thursday, if we use that descriptive, you're gonna be on the Labor Day weekend.
So to you, John, where you're going to is.
Yeah.
8th. Okay, so we'll set our next meeting. Yeah, September 8th, 4 p.m. And then the next one after that, we'll return to our normal, first Thursday of the month at 4 p.m. So we got the motion by McFadden, second by Commissioner Wall, all in favor? All right, both in favor, wonderful. And then if there is no other business to be brought before the commission today, I would say at 4:17 p.m., we adjourn today's meeting. All right, wonderful. Thank you, Becky. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, gentlemen.